So
even to this day, it's something similar, right? You know, growing up, like, you know, did you know that you had any other passion? Did you know that you wanted to become anything? You know,
it's funny you ask that because, okay, so a lot of times when you're growing up as children, you always want to become what they say you know. Right. Your mom say you're going to be a nurse, you want to be a nurse. Or your older sister is in the medical field, so you're looking up to your older sister, you say, I'm going in the medical field, right? And there was never a time that I felt I was going to be a teacher, right? So, but I knew in the 8th grade I had a bad experience. I had a bad experience that kind of made me say, if I am the one in charge of this, then I will not be that way with youth, right? So going to Tuskegee, graduating, I was gonna major in nursing. You know, my sister said, you're gonna be a nurse. Just really going to school. Didn't want to go to school, but my mom and my dad said, okay, everybody have to go to school because you're gonna leave my house, you're gonna do something. So knowing that I did not have the aptitude or the mindset to meet their level of expectation, because I needed help. And I didn't want to tell nobody I couldn't read good. Who want to do that? And you 18, 19, whatever years old, right? So I didn't want to tell nobody that. So you put on a mask. You know, we around here wearing these masks, but people been wearing masks for years. I wore a mask from the time I was born to the time I said, I got to do this. I got to overcome this Goliath. Right? So, got over there, Tuskegee nursing, honey, wasn't stunned about no nursing, came home. So I knew when I came home, I had to work and go to school, because I know my mama didn't play now. My mom and dad, they didn't play. So I had to get in school. Now I was in school. I worked on a 4-year degree for probably 7 years. 8 years. You know how you take a class you take a class just to enough, then you get the loan money, then you take another class, you know, so I'm playing that game real good, right? So I had taken so many classes towards nursing. I really didn't have the GPA to get in a nursing program, and during that time nursing was a critical field, so you had to have like a 3.2 3 point whatever to get in a nursing program. So I had taken all the classes I needed to get on a program, but I did not I could not get in a program. So I did finish with an associate degree at it's Middle Georgia University now, but it was Macon State. So all that time I had, when I came back from Tuskegee, all that time I was working in the grocery store. So when I was working in the grocery store, the Piggly Wiggly, I was at the top of my game. Yeah. I was the best. I was on track to be management. I wanted to be the first female manager of a food chain. That was my goal. That's what I want. Felt like I wanted. My mama they didn't want to hear that. But I was still taking those classes, but I was in that grocery store. And I could key those groceries and run that front end and the courtesy clerks and the cashiers and my books. I was a front end manager and I was the bookkeeper, and I could get so I was gonna just do that. Yeah. I was gonna make management. So I go from nursing To want to be, not really want to be, that wasn't my ever dream. But I'm going to tell you why I had to get the skills in nursing. I'm going to tell you why. So I was at the grocery store, and a professor from Georgia College had come in the grocery store. She would come in there all the time. So she came in there one particular day, but I was in the produce section, and a little boy had come in. And you know how they have those soapbox cars and, you know, doing all of that. So he was saying he needed to measure his wood because he was working on a car. And he needed to use the produce thing. And so he needed to know how much wood he needed to add to this car to meet the criteria, because he had a little paper criteria. So I'm sitting there reading it, you know, he's sitting there, his father or mother was there, I can't remember. And so I began to get my pen and I began to work a proportion. I said, well, do you start doing this? What's the wood you have now? What are you trying to achieve? What is it that the directions say? So we set up a proportion, and I said, see, you got to cross multiply, then you divide by the coefficient. I'm just talking to this boy, right? And you divide by the coefficient of the variable, and then x is equal to da 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 da. And you know x is a variable, and x represents the unknown. I mean, I just went to talking to this young man. That professor was looking at me, interacting with that child. And so then he left knowing how much wood he needed to add to his soapbox car. So when she came through the line, by the time she finished, she said, Julia, she said, I need you to come to this meeting. I said, what meeting? I said, what kind of meeting is it? Because I knew what she said, I just need you to come to this meeting. Are you available? Gave me a card, gave me the information to come to a meeting. And I said, well, okay, I'll come. Went to the meeting. It was at the Cigna insurance company over here. There, Georgia College had some spaces over there. And they were giving an information session there. So when I go in the meeting, it was all about becoming a teacher. Oh, you teacher?
So at this point, you post-grad already?
I am at the point, because I couldn't get in the nursing program, right? I'm at the point making my mind up, I want to be a manager. So I had enough credits to go into the other 2 years of a BA, bachelor's degree, to be a teacher, an educator, right? So either you wait a year to get into the nursing program, dealing with my mama. Now, mind you, I got to do something. Or go on and do these 2 years to become a teacher, right? And I said, well, okay. I said, okay. I went on and did it because at that time I'm like 23 years old, and then in between all that I had a child. I had a baby. And so I said, well, I got to do something because I got this baby and I need to be able to provide for the baby, right? So I got into this program, went through it, did my little student teaching, going to the classes, and then my insecurity and my fears and everything I was trying. And when I first got in the classroom, I realized I got to talk. I got the right responses to report cards. So that's my writing, right? I got to read to be able to do lesson plan. I'm like, all I want to do is math. So I had to face all of that stuff. Making sure your subject agree with your verb when you're speaking in all those things I had to overcome in the midst of that, but my motivation was my baby girl.
Right.
Okay? So, finished that degree, got certified, passed the test, did whatever I needed to do, and got my professor, she got me a job. I didn't want to teach nothing but math. You mean tell me I got to do science, I got to do social studies, I got to do when you're in elementary, you got to do all that. I'm like, all I want to do is, I ain't signed up for this. Still working at the grocery store. Still work. I would leave that, go work at the grocery store on the weekend. Because at the grocery store, you got paid every week. As a teacher, you get paid once a month. Where they do that at? I need a check every week. I'm used to every week. And you saying I'm getting checked once a month? I'm looking crazy.